There's a lot of people that do lying hamstring curl. Their obsession is to like swing their foot up to their ass as hard as they possibly can, which is like, I've talked about in other videos, but it's just this ability of understanding like I can be in this position. So if I'm in this position here and I'm feeling, obviously you can see I'm off the stack, there's tension on my legs. So I'm flexed in my quad to keep my leg from hyperextending. So if I relax my quad right now, my knee would feel like it's getting pulled the opposite direction, but I'm flexed down on quad with pressure in the pad. Some people prefer to be here because it gives them more feeling, but when you're here, you get this thing where you go, because you have so much leverage going forward that I just kick, and then I kick. So it's like, I would rather keep myself on a straighter line. That's why you see other machines down there, they're kind of a flatter approach to it. I'd rather keep myself level with my hip or a little bit below it so that I can create this pressure down on my knee and slide up smooth. So I'm trying to keep pressure down on my stomach here and my belly, and I'm trying to just be here and sliding up. So I'm trying to think of it as like a concentration curl where I would reach out and then slide back up. I'm not trying to rock. I'm trying to get full extension like I would for my bicep, and I'm trying to flex my bicep back up. So it's the same thing. My foot is there. I'm trying to rise back up, right? So I'm trying to create this reaching out with my feet. So I'm reaching back that way, and I'm pulling straight towards me with knee pressure and quad pressure, right? So we're rocking here. You met Andrew Tate before? You did? He said he's facing 8 to 10 years. So if you walk around, you know people, obviously you interact with people who are like-minded like you. I wouldn't hang out with you if you were some fucking Nazi fucking, you know what I mean? Like I'd be like, yeah, he's a Nazi, but he's my boy, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, you hang around people that are like-minded like you, but it's like you have this view based on the media and other stuff that's force-fed to you, whether it's Instagram or whatever, that like the world's this like different place. Which it kind of is sometimes, but like it's not as bad as you think. And there's a lot more people thinking like being normal, like they're not fucked up. So when you see like interviews like that and like they're painting picture of him out to be something he's not, I've never met him. I've never met Michael either, but it's like two guys who I think have a fucking pretty good grasp on reality. And it's nice to see like when you click on that, and you see that there's like 20 million views. It's like, oh, there's not as many. You know, like a percentage of those people are just fucking trolls who are like going there to be like, fuck this motherfucker, they're misogynists. Like, but you know, there's a good percentage that are like, finally, like someone else is thinking this shit, right? Like they're just this desire to create divisions between people and to break people down into factions, whether it's like through race, through religion, through whatever. Now it's through sexual identity. Now it's through like what I see myself as a pronoun. Like it's been chopped down into like 1,000 pieces. Now you can be any one of these 1,000 things, but we all know that it comes back to like one thing actually, it's just being a fucking human. Whether you're a man, woman, whatever, it's like, and they're trying to divide people away from that. So it's nice to see like people that believe in like gender roles or like a man acting like a man, not being a bitch. Like I find that a lot of men nowadays, they just duck responsibility. Like they have no responsibilities. They don't take care of anyone. They're not like responsible for anyone else's life or doing right by people. So I think that's what creates a lot of weak men. That's why the shirt's coming soon. So, well, yeah, and it's also like this perpetuating this culture. Like they spoke about it as well, of women thinking that they're like of this idea that women are better than men, or like they're somehow so much greater and we're inferior and we've been holding them back and all this stuff. It's like, no, you haven't. You're not going to meet a girl out there. Like Tate says in the thing, he's like, he was asked by Piers Morgan or whatever. He's like, does your girlfriend work? Because he's trying to frame him in this ideology that he's a misogynist. He's like, does your girlfriend work? He's like, no, she doesn't work. He's like, oh, so well, you don't want her to work? You don't think? He's like, no, she could work if she wanted to, but she doesn't have to. And he's like, why? He's like, because I'm rich. And he's like, oh, he's like, but she's more than welcome to, but like, why would she want to? Like, I don't need her to, she doesn't need to. And he's like, oh, that's misogynist. Like, how is that misogynist? You ask any woman in the world. Like if I'm some billionaire guy and I meet a girl, I'm like, hey, you still gotta work. They're gonna be like, what? If you're with a girl you love or a girl you care about, you take care of her, right? It's like, fuck. Yeah, I hate to break it to you. If I had a fucking daughter and a fucking man walked in the women's bathroom with her, he ain't fucking gonna be in there long. I'll tell you that much. It's just this idea, like, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, but think that you're a couch for all I care. Think that you're a fucking flashlight. I don't care. Like, just stop jamming it down everybody's fucking throat. No one gives a fuck. Like, without getting fucking myself fucking thrown off YouTube, which is probably gonna happen. It's like you're trying to, all of us that are of like an age where we understand what's going on, where our ages, I'm older than you guys, we understand, we see this and know it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, is everyone crazy? But it's like you just said, this 4-year-old or the 3-year-old, the 7-year-old, the 8-year-old, the 10-year-old has a mind that's still being built. And these ideologies are being imprinted as normal. So these people are not gonna grow up to adults and be perpetuating this bullshit. And then they'll perpetuate it down to their kids who will perpetuate it. This is like, it's the start of a generational thing. We're just happen to be on the going out of it. So we're like kicking and screaming like, shut the fuck up, what are you talking about, this crazy, and we'll fucking die. This will rise and this will be a thing, right? There'll be people who are indistinguishable by their appearance. Like what do you call yourself? Like what's your name? It's like the only thing to be safe nowadays is just ask people their name. Like, what's your name? Like, I'm not gonna refer to you as like, she said that. I'd be like, Barbara, or Steven, whatever you fucking.
Some people actually don't even go by names anymore. It's just they them. You gotta go by names.
You're not a group. Yeah. That's not possible. It's not possible. It's like I play for the Dodgers and I say, Dodger Mike. Yeah. Dodgers. Yeah. I'm Dodgers. It's an idea of like, and it's being promoted, like you said, through this corporate shit. And like corporate world, we all know is bullshit. That's why none of us work in the corporate world. That sounds like a nightmare to me, to like be involved in that kind of community, right? But that's how like these people in the corporate world are technically like, not to offend anyone that has a corporate job, but like you're kind of like in the herd mentality. You may disagree with what's going on, but you're certainly not gonna fucking say anything about it because you want to keep your fucking job, right? So in essence, that is helping the agenda because you're submitting to like this forced like way of speaking or doing stuff, right? So that's little Mike.
Teaching everyone how to work out or what?
Yeah, they have no idea. It's the first workout video ever.
I'm part of the club, don't worry. I brought you some beer because it's Friday.
Oh yeah.
A case of beer in here.
Is it important to change up my workout routine and introduce new exercises over time, or can I keep the same?
I think it's a good idea.
In order to progress.
I mean, definitely try new things and don't not do new things because you're scared of it. But like, I mean, develop a solid base of maybe 4 or 5 lifts for each body part that you feel comfortable with. Work on those and get them down really pat. But you'll understand, like, once you understand movement of like how I move my hamstring, let's say, that movement carries over to like a standing hamstring curl or seated hamstring curl. The movement carries over to the machine. It's just learning how to move on that machine or move in an efficient way on that given piece of equipment that allows you to feel the same connection you felt on the other things, right? So I wouldn't, beginners again, we're talking to fucking beginners, guys, like holy fuck. Or like guys that are coming up, aren't fucking pro bodybuilders, take a seat, stop crying, fucking go eat a meal. It's, we're just saying like, when you're starting off, get good at foundational stuff and you'll know that it's a foundational thing for you because you may not have someone show you, but you may do the movement and you're like, oh, this is for my back and I think I feel my back muscles working. And every time I do it, I get better at it. Well, there you go, there's one exercise. Try another thing. I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing here. Let's move on to something else. So this feels a lot better. And then you'll understand, maybe you watch videos of me or any of the other guys out there as hypertrophy coach, Mike Rutel, Brandon Ray, like guys that I feel like have a grasp on what they're doing. They might speak to you and show you a certain way and you're like, oh, this feels great. And then you see stuff they do, you start building a repertoire. But don't think that like I need to always be evolving in the trainings I'm doing because like because the next exercise is going to be the breakthrough exercise. Like now that I do this exercise on this machine, now my fucking legs are going to grow or now my chest is going to grow. It's like, it just comes down to movement and you could, like we talked about on my podcast, Bro Chat that I'm on, There's professional bodybuilders. My friend Ian, he trained for a pro show during COVID in his basement with dumbbells, bands, and fucking like one barbell, and won a pro show. Granted, he's a fucking gifted individual who had a very developed physique beforehand. It didn't take much to stimulate, but he got it done, right? So it just goes to show you these massive gyms like this are a luxury, but it's not needed, right? You guys can get just as good a workout at a community center gym, at your own garage gym, your buddy's gym. It doesn't need to be like fancy stuff. This is a luxury and it's a great thing to have, but results can be attained anywhere. I fucked up my hip flexor boxing last night. Look up behind me. Doing legs today's not fun. It's like I thought my left leg worked, but apparently it doesn't. It's like fucking stuck. So I was showing you guys before, I'm like, oh fuck, I can't bend my left leg that well.
What's happening during boxing?
Yeah. It's just sore from boxing. This feels pretty good. This is another example of my head. I can show it even better on this because this is like more of like a horizontal angle. It's not this vertical or like slanted leg press. But if my hips are back here, my hips so dug back here and my pressure's in my feet so much, I can literally touch my feet. So like I have no pressure in my back pad other than my butt pressing back. So all I'm doing is putting my body in a position to just be neutral. So I don't want to be like this. I can be, there's a variation of it, right? But if I want to be here, I want to push my mid back into the pad. So it's almost like I'm pushing through my stomach here. There's a rod, let's say through my stomach, keeping me stuck on here. And I bend myself around this pressure here, knees lift up and I press down. So it's always down into here, pushing knee up and keeping myself down in my abs. So I'm tight on my abs and I'm pressing off, boom. So even if I'm pulling up on this to keep myself in the seat and down, I'm pressing through. So I'm just pumping legs. So a lot of guys will go up and down. When they go here, they go down. When they jerk out, they're trying to erupt. They're trying to explode out of here and push out. It's like, no, feel the pressure go into the pad, press off. So my feet feel like I'm literally pushing my knees down to flex, pushing my knees up, down. That's all I'm trying to feel with pressing is my knees rocking up and locking down. I'm not trying to move my body back into a pad. That's what it looks like. So I don't blame people for thinking that, but it's just melting down and then pressing down. So when I get here, my knee's at the height it is, I'm trying to flex it back down to where it was. If I was to do it in slow motion, I'm literally trying to flex down to my quad again, right?
So like in terms of the extension, you should go the full way through?
Yeah, well it's gonna be different on different people, but the easiest thing to do is always feel like when you're about to drop, when you're setting your knees, I want to feel like I pull this air, I blow it air almost, so I'm like, and then I sit down. So I'm able to crush this distance between here and here. My stomach and my leg meet quickly so that I can flex myself off. So I can literally do it here and with no hands on and press off, but I'm pulling myself in the seat so I don't round my back. Understanding this foot pressure and that all my pressure of my lift is here. It's not up here. So you see these guys, they'll unhook here, do like a half row. They'll push this thing up and you see right from the beginning, it's like that, right? So they're trying to fight this weight on them. So they're not even aware of what's happening with their feet. They're just trying to push this weight back away from them. There's nothing happening in the feet other than they're standing, right? So you need to get out of that mindset and just melt into your feet, you know?
So like I had a question. I saw like right now a lady here. Like how do you feel about people working out like in pregnancy?
I don't know if you saw a pregnant woman or you just saw a fat chick. I'll be very honest with you, especially if we're looking around right here right now.
No, I did.
I don't know anything about that. I have no comment on that. Is it a man or a woman that's pregnant? You know that's possible, right? Many of you may find it hard to believe, but men can get pregnant. Yeah, we're getting canceled today for sure.
These schools now, like my daughter was telling me that some of these schools like are putting fucking like litter boxes in their fucking washrooms for these kids who identify as cats. I swear to God.
I
My
identified.
daughter is telling me this shit. She's 12 years old.
I'd identified as a great white shark for a while, but then I gave it up.
God, ridiculous.
Can't swim, so.
My daughter would get pulled out of that school so fast if they ever did that. God.